This is absolutely a beautiful dish. You can serve to company, you can make on a weeknight, and I can't wait to dive in. That is a really, really delicious dish that you're going to be so happy with. Cook with me, I'm Stella V. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so excited to bring you another classic Italian dish, saving time using the Instant Pot. We have a few simple ingredients laid out before you, and that's all it's going to take to make this wonderful dish. We have chicken thighs, skinless, bone-in chicken thighs that I've seasoned with salt and pepper and garlic pepper. The orzo, and we're including some vegetables. We have green beans because that's what I had available today, but this dish can easily be prepared using spinach or rapini. Any other green vegetable works really well. Our aromatics: celery, garlic, bell pepper, and shallots, a little bit of thyme. Finally, our liquids. We're using 2 cups of chicken broth and half a cup of white wine. I'm using skinless bone-in chicken thighs, but you can easily convert this recipe and use chicken breasts as well. The first thing we're going to do is saute and brown those chicken pieces. I've put the Instant Pot on to saute. I've got 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil in the pot, and you can hear the beep, it's on. Just gonna let that chicken saute for about 3 to 4 minutes. That'll give us a nice color and provide all that wonderful flavor. As you can tell, the sizzling is giving us all that wonderful brown color. The chicken is now nicely browned, so I'm just removing it to a dish, and we'll get on to our next steps using the aromatics. We're now going to add the shallots. I have 2 shallots that have been diced. I've also got 2 stalks of celery. The shallots and celery have been sauteing for about 2 or 3 minutes, and now we're adding 2 cloves of chopped garlic. Everything a stir, and while you're stirring, the moisture is coming out of the shallots, and we'll use that to scrape off the brown bits from the bottom. We'll just give a nice stir to the shallots and the celery, making sure they're well coated with the olive oil. And after about 2 minutes, we'll be adding the chopped garlic. Next in is a half of orange bell pepper. You can use yellow, red, orange, whatever you have on hand. And I've used half of it and chopped it up. That's now going in. You can see those vegetables are nice and soft, and all those flavors are melding together. And as they saute, I'm continuously making sure I scrape the bottom to get those brown bits off the bottom. And now we're ready to add the white wine. I've got half a cup of dry white wine. Any dry white will do. And I'm using that now, and you can hear that sizzle. That white wine not only adds flavor, but it really, really acts as a way to deglaze the bottom of the pot. And by deglazing, it means I'm getting all of that wonderful brown flavor. And by stirring it, I want to use a good strong wooden spoon now. As that white wine is bubbling away, you are taking the time to really make sure there's nothing left sticking to the bottom of the pot. We want all that brown goodness as part of the flavor, and we certainly don't want to cause any burn notices while we're cooking our main food. Here we can see how wonderful that bubbling sauce, the white wine is starting to form a bit of a sauce, And you can see all that brown flavor is now a big part of that sauce. Now that we have all of our aromatics at a wonderful stage, they're soft, they're boiling, we're going to cancel the saute function. And while we're waiting, this is a great time to use my favorite tool, and what we need is the zest of 1 lemon. The Microplane zester is the absolute best way of getting the zest from a lemon. Simply and effortlessly just rub it over the rasp, tap it gently, and voila, we have a beautiful zest. And that zest will provide this dish so much flavor. Now that we have the juice and zest of 1 lemon, time to add the other ingredients. Orzo. It's quite a different ingredient. If you're not familiar with orzo, it is actually named after barley in Italian. However, there is no grain involved. The shape is like a little grain, and that's where the orzo name comes from. It's actually a pasta. Now it's time to add the orzo to the pot, along with, as I said, we're using green beans today because that's what I had available, but spinach or even rapini would be wonderful in this dish. And so as you can see, we're getting everything in one pot. Your protein, your chicken, your vegetable, your beans, and your pasta, your orzo. Simply laid the orzo over the shallots and the garlic and celery and the bell pepper. And now we've just put the green beans over the orzo. Now it's time to add all that beautiful juice and zest from our lemon. And we'll be nestling all that wonderful chicken back into the pot, and that is our final layer. I've layered the chicken back onto the vegetables and the orzo and added my 2 cups of chicken broth. The chicken broth will nicely cover the orzo and the vegetables, and the chicken is laying on top. And our final step, I have 2 tablespoons of fresh thyme. Now you can always substitute for dried thyme, and if you do, all you need is 1 tablespoon. And now for the final step. We've got everything in the pot, and as you can see how simple that was, layering a few simple ingredients. We've now added the lid, and we will pressure cook this for 6 minutes. Chicken broth I was using was quite seasoned. Again, orzo, it looks like rice, but it's really a pasta. What a wonderful way to elevate an ordinary dish. And thank you to all my subscribers. And if you haven't yet, make sure you click on subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss another recipe. Waiting for this to come to pressure, just wanted to talk about the salt and seasoning levels. I seasoned the individual chicken pieces very aggressively. Salt, pepper, and garlic powder. I did not add any salt and pepper to the actual dish as we were cooking it. So therefore, I really believe that I've got enough seasoning, salt and pepper. But at the end, we'll always taste our dish before we put it out. And if it needs a little bit more salt, we'll add it then. Now that the 6 minutes of pressure cooking has been completed, the timer will start counting up. We've let that naturally release for 6 or 7 minutes, and time to finish releasing the pressure. And now that the button has dropped, we're ready to open up the pot. Looks and smells wonderful. Not only is this one pot meal going to be delicious, but also elegant and a complete meal all in one. I'm just removing the chicken to a separate dish right now, and that way we can serve up the orzo dish. Now that I've removed the chicken, I'm just going to give the vegetables and the orzo a quick stir. And now we're ready to serve and ready to taste. This looks absolutely beautiful and a wonderful new take on chicken and rice. I've garnished it with a little bit of fresh mint and chopped parsley. I've added a lemon slice. This is absolutely a beautiful dish. You can serve to company, you can make on a weeknight, and I can't wait to dive in. That is a really, really delicious dish that you're going to be so happy with. Like another Instant Pot recipe, click the video right here on your screen. Hi, come cook with me because I'm Stella V. And if you like what you see, hit subscribe, leave a comment, tell me that you subscribed, and I'll reply.